Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is a little DIY, and to be specific, we are going to be customizing my Diamondback truck bed cover on a brand new Chevy Silverado. So let's get into it and show you what we got. So if you haven't seen the last video that we did with Diamondback truck bed cover, make sure you check that out. That is a really good in-depth installation video on how to put the cover on. But this video, we're gonna focus on customizing it. What I got is this relatively cheap light bar that I'm gonna put on. That's gonna illuminate everything in the back when the cover's actually up. And then what I got are these truck bed kind of like rail lights that I'm actually going to put into the cover itself. So 4 are gonna go in the back half and another 4 are gonna go in the front half. Biggest problem, of course, when you have a bed cover, it's gonna come on and off your truck. So I figured out a solution to that. I got these quick release electrical connectors. So anytime I wanna take the lid off, all I have to do is just quick connect these and remove it from the truck. So I'm not gonna actually permanently wire anything to the cover itself. I got my bag of fuses, got a bunch of wire, and then I even got wire cover. I'm doing this right. This should be a pretty good install. I'm gonna get pretty in depth on how to do the wiring. Once again, I am not a professional electrician, so don't take this to heart. I'm just the guy that loves DIY. Yeah, let's open up the cover, lay it out, get some stuff installed. There is nothing better than unboxing, especially when the box is this gigantic. I don't know why, I just really enjoy this a lot. This is a Diamondback HD truck bed cover, and this one is specifically set up for a Chevy Silverado 1500 5.7 bed line. By the way, in this actual cover, I got this with a low profile cap protector in the back. So if you're throwing 2x4s and stuff in the back of your bed cover, you won't smash your window. I don't think we're gonna need this for right now. This is the centerpiece. Okay, I got the cab panel on my little workbench here. I'm gonna do this section first. This is actually only getting 4 LED lights, where the tailgate panel, that's gonna get 4 LED lights and a light bar. So we're gonna practice with this first. I'm putting all my wiring on the left driver's side of my truck. So when you run all your wiring, you wanna make sure you have it all lined up with your quick disconnectors. So obviously you can connect it. If it's on the other side, you're screwed. Very important, keep that in mind. I am going to lay all these out, get these 4 installed. After I get all the wiring placed in, I am going to take you through what I did. We'll be right back. Okay, we're gonna give a little update on this. I have decided to completely switch around my plans. So these LED light pods, I was gonna put them inside, like the track of the bed cover, but now I've decided to put them on these supporting rods. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to measure all these out, put these pods wherever I want them. I think I am going to Dremel out a hole so they sit flush mount in there. And then I'm gonna take the wires, I'll have to splice these wires because clearly they're not long enough. I'll run the wires underneath, this is hollow aluminum, and then I'll reattach it down there, and then I'll have to do it the same, run the same series, because these are all in one series. Light to light pod to light pod to light pod to power, and then run it out over there for my quick connect. Dremel, mark, splice, wire, snip, 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 and plug, 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 and hopefully it works. Okay, we are back after finally installing the 2 light pods. So as you guys can see, these are flush mounted into the aluminum rail, and then I ran the wires underneath. I had to extend these wires, splice them, all that good stuff, and then running the wires into the tube. So now I have to splice these wires together, run that under there, and then drill up these 2 holes and finish the 2 light pods. So let's get the drilling and cutting. Okay, so I got all the holes cut out. Now what I have to do is come back over in the corner, splice this in. I need some heat shrink and make sure these are really good connections. And then bring that wire through this tube, hook up this corner here, bring it to that corner, and then finish my line, then put my quick connect on. Let's get to some splicing and some heating. Okay, all the cable's been laid out, and what I did to snake the actual wire that I need, I found some Cat 5 line. So I ran it into this hole, which is gonna be my third light pod. That goes through there, goes into the rail, and now what I'm going to do is tape this onto my Cat 5 line, and then I should be able to pull and snake the rest of this wire right through. Bam, there it is. Just that easy. That's gonna go to our third light pod. But first, before we do any of that, now we have our 2 connections that we have to make over here in this corner. Let's get all that wired up, and then we can worry about the third going into the fourth. Okay, so this is the next task that we're at, is we have to splice these 2 lines together. So I'm gonna put that on, because we're gonna do a double layer. Then we're gonna open these 2 up, and then I have 2 more smaller heat shrinks. You know, normally I probably would solder everything, but I don't really think I need to. There's not gonna be any pressure on this, and with the heat shrinking, it should work out really well. Slide up the heat shrink, slide that right in there, and that is our first heat shrink. So remember, all you really need, it's pretty basic, just need a lighter, make sure it's connected. There's our connection point, everything's good. There we go, that's number 1. Same thing, heat it up. Okay, now I'm gonna slide over this big one. There we go. That is your heat shrink. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of these sticky zip tie holders, and I'm gonna put that in the corner, put a zip tie around it, and that's gonna keep that wire from flopping around, because of course this is what is your latch and your lock. I don't want any of this stuff getting caught, having any issues down the road whatsoever. And these things are pretty sticky. On a clean surface, you should have no problem. Just like that. I'm gonna add a couple more of these, and then I will meet you back over at the third light pod. Got all the wire through. Now it is time to attach the third, and then run the fourth down. But before I do that, this clearly is not long enough from this hole to this hole, so I have to extend this wire out again. So we're gonna splice this, put that in between, make everything work. Well, hopefully work. We'll see. There we go, third pod is in. Now we just have to go to the last pod, almost there. Well, actually no, I'm not even close to being there, because I still have to do a whole other panel and put on a light bar. I think if I was gonna do this again, I would definitely make my cuts much cleaner, but for the first time doing an install like this, it looks relatively good. I could have cleaned it up quite a bit, but I think overall it's pretty good. Oh, and I'm using self-tapping metal screws, and I'm not cranking down on it really hard, just enough just to hold it in place, because these things weigh absolutely nothing. So I don't believe they're gonna go anywhere ever with one screw with more than 2. These are our quick connection pieces. Now this is where I don't really know what to do next, but you take a little second and figure it out. Okay, done. So I'm gonna tell you guys what I just did. I wired the last bit for the quick disconnector, because of course this case goes up and down, cover goes up and down. I put this nylon protector. If it rubs on things, it's not going to affect the wire. Put these little sticky things down to hold the wires in place. All 4 light pods are completely in place. They're flush mounted down. This cover, that is the cap panel, is completely done. So now I gotta go to the tailgate and do it all over again. All 4 light pods have been installed in the tailgate section of the cover. Came over here, I ran my protection wire, put some heat shrink on there. Let's test it and see if it works. And let's just put the negative on there, and bam! All 4 lights work perfectly. Guys, make sure when you test 12-volt things and you're gonna use regular outlets, make sure you have a converter, or these things will go poof. No good. I got the wire ran underneath for the light bar. Light bar is installed, so pretty simple for the most part. I mounted the bar right to the side panel. I use self-tapping screws with a washer. This should work pretty well. I feel secure. It might rattle from time to time. You know, I can adjust it, which is cool. Let's finish this up and then test it out. Panels are done. Here are our quick connect ends. One is for the LED panels, one is for the light bar. Ran that up in there. Everything is through the tube. And then of course one set goes to LEDs, and then that one goes to the light bar. Everything works great. Now it's time to build the wiring harness for the truck and then get this bad boy installed and hooked up. And that's it. This is the wiring harness I have to build. I have fuses, our switches, of course our wire. Got to connect everything to the battery. So let me take you outside to the truck and show you where the wiring harness is going to go. Battery there. We're gonna take this, we're gonna run that all the way in there, run it in there, come down the truck, run it down underneath the paneling, and then we're gonna end up in here where the wire is going right there, and then they're gonna come out of this little hole right there, and my two switches are gonna be right here, and then cover on. I'm gonna get to that, build this wiring harness, wire everything up, I'll show you how it looks, and then put the cover on. So, let's go. Wiring harnesses are done. I pretty much made my own wiring harness. Pretty easy. Fuse, battery terminal connectors, each one is for the light bar, one is for the light pods. So now I am gonna go hook this up to my truck. Once that's all done, I'll show you where it went, how I did it, and then we'll put the cover on. And we are finally done. I got the wiring harness completely installed. I'm gonna use these two factory holes for my toggle switches. I'm gonna run these wires through there and then wire everything up. I'm gonna go put the cover on. I'm gonna get all that done. Once that's done, then I'm gonna hook it all up. Cover is completely installed. Of course, that brand new Diamondback is on, nice and snug. I have all the fittings completely done, our safety rail done. This is what locks everything into place. I have to wire up my two toggle switches here, run my power to the bed over here, plug in my quick connect, make sure it all works. So let's get to it. We have these wires from the battery. These wires are gonna run underneath the bed into our quick disconnect for our cover. Each cover panel has 4 lights. So I have to make these 2 panels connect into one of these toggle switches. I'm gonna line all this up, get this ready, and see if we can get some stuff working. This is what I did so far. I have all the covers wired up. We have our quick disconnectors set up for both panels, for both LED light pods, and of course the light bar. And now I have to put our toggle switches on right here, do a test, make sure the toggle switches work. Then I will show you guys a complete layout, complete diagram of it working. I am extremely proud to say this was a mission success. I think the overall design of this project and the uses I'm gonna be able to use my truck for, especially with having lights in the rear, lights in the cab, it's gonna make a lot of projects a lot more fun, and I won't need night vision, even though we could all really use night vision. Let me show you guys what we got going on. You see those 2 little lights right there? Those are our toggle switches that are attached to everything. And what's cool about these toggle switches, when the lights are off, those LED lights come on. So let's turn that on, boom. Now, it's not that impressive right now because it's not super dark out. If you notice, the toggle switch is actually off with the LED, indicating that your lights are on. Bam, look at that. This light bar is gonna light up everything back here. And then of course, when your lid is down, everything in your cab is gonna be, you know, lit up. There is no excuse to ever lose anything again. Wow, that is blinding. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this custom DIY Diamondback LED and light bar installation in my 2020 Chevy 1500. And if you did, please give me a big thumbs up, like, subscribe. Let's see what other modifications we can do with this bad boy. But before we close out, I hope you guys enjoy this thing at nighttime.